last couple months. What's your early thoughts about the team and maybe your early thoughts about the freshmen?
Yeah, we're in our last week of 8 weeks that we get, and you know, this group has been we're noticeably longer and more athletic. That's the first thing that jumps out, and it was intentional how we were recruiting, being more athletic, and I think we have the pieces to be really really good defensively. I think we have the pieces to be way more up tempo. I think offensive rebounding, steals. I think everything with our length is going to be improved. In the summertime when you bring in a lot of new guys, and it's almost becoming the new normal of having, look around the country, it seems like everybody has over half their team is new, is you just got to come together. And this team is, these 8 weeks, they've spent a lot of time on their own, off the floor. On the floor, I think we got a group of gym rats that are in the gym a lot, shooting. And I've also seen some leaders emerge. You asked me about the two freshmen. Jacob Cole came in and did really, really well to start, and then he broke his foot. So he missed pretty much 5 of the 8 weeks. And then Caden Cooper noticeably has gained weight. 15 pounds he's added. He's gained a lot of weight coming in as freshman. You're trying to learn and take everything in, and he's had a great attitude learning. But he's also another one who's 6'6", athletic wing. We're just more athletic.
Porter, you call it the new normal. What have you come to learn? This is summer number 3 of having to deal with this change. What have you learned about this time of year and getting things right?
You got to be relentless with what you believe in, and because there's all these new guys, I'm not throwing in the towel and saying the way we do things, the way our culture's got to be, it's too exhausting to keep reteaching it. I'm just relentless on the main thing. The main thing is to continue to build up the guys' skill level to where the team being about OU, and that's the thing that I've really looked at this summer is it's got to start with me. As you know, assistants come and go, but as far as being the leader here and just the vision, you got to be relentless. It's got to be every day. And because we got new guys, it's not going to just all of a sudden happen unless you achieve what you emphasize. And I think this summer we were establishing a work ethic, a pace of how we want to play. I really look at this faster pace, but that's the new normal. I don't want it to be where it has to be all new guys. That you get retention, and we had a couple guys that we didn't retain. We've got to get this to the point where there's a lot that goes involved to retaining players these days, as we all know. These guys this summer, it's been one of effort, togetherness, and just setting the tone for how hard we're going to play.
Porter,
Porter, you mentioned a couple times just the emphasis on wanting to play more up tempo, wanting to get more athletic. Maybe when did that start to become the primary focus for this offseason? Maybe how do some of these new guys kind of fit into that idea?
Well, I just thought we were not athletic, and it's been, I thought our last 2 recruiting classes of freshmen, we've had back-to-back years of top 100 kids. That's been a positive. And I think those freshmen like Ortega and Milos, it was key to retain those guys. Ended up starting them. And they're longer, more athletic. So it started back, that was really my first freshman class. Caden Cooper, Jacob Cole, longer, more athletic. And then we were able to do better in the portal this offseason with being able to recruit some guys. And I think that was noticeable too. But just, when you have the number 2 ranked schedule, when you have 26 quad 1 and 2 games, that's like the most of anybody in the country. You're playing the best of the best. You need to have some length and athleticism to counter a lot of that. I still don't want to walk away from skill. I think we got a good blend of skilled guys too. But everything from offensive rebounding, getting extra possessions in this league, to getting some easier baskets in transition is something I really, being here 2 years, that we have to do it. But I think our ability to do better in the portal helped, and our 2 freshman classes has been that way. Our freshman classes has been key to that.
once again, you lose an assistant coach. At least it's not right before the season this time. This is going to give you a little more time to find one, right?
Yeah. No, it's part of it. I really feel like I hire really good. I've had some good assistants. I have.
Well, they're going to good places.
Eight of my former assistants are current D1 head coaches, and for Emmanuel to get an opportunity, we lost KT to Duke, David Patrick to a head coaching job, and now KT to Kentucky, and then E just went to Duke. So, very, very hard to lose assistants. My first staff, but they've moved on. That means you've hired good guys, and I'll do it again. I know Armand Gates has been with me. He's been great this summer. Ryan Humphreys got a year under his belt with me. He's been great. So we'll continue to get someone in here again. But I hire good and I get poached.
Well, you promoted a coach too. Talk about that new coach that you have.
Brock Morris came and joined us this offseason, and Brock's a wealth of experience. Brock was in the SEC at Ole Miss, been at Louisiana Lafayette, from Alabama, has a ton of recruiting ties, and there's been a head coach in the junior college level, but most recently been in the SEC. So Brock is just like all my guys. He's really good on the floor, and he's really a grinder recruiter.
Does this time of year give you the opportunity, if you'd like, to fill that spot that's open now?
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to fill it. I mean, I wish you guys could see my phone. It's already beeped 25 times since I guys it's been there's quite a bit of interest with this thing, but for me, it just got to get it right. What's the right fit, and we'll definitely be hiring somebody in that place.
How much do you foresee John helping with what you're talking about earlier, with that presence inside, offensive rebounding, things like that?
So John is one thing. He's just an extremely physical presence. Like I think I said it when we signed him. So many teams switched 1 through 5, and you got to make them pay for switching 1 through 5, and we didn't always make them pay. Tanner was just a really good pick and pop guy. John is you're going to have to. He's just a different. I mean, very, very physical, very, very physical. Really doing it, trying to get to the place where we can play the pace with him. But he's a physical presence. He's knocking down a shot better, I thought. But he averaged 15 points in the ACC and around that paint for a reason. Some of the other wings that have really impressed us with the pace and the offensive rebound is, Rivaldo Soares, Jalen Moore. Those two guys have come in and been, really high-level, long athletes. Latrey Darthard, I mean, everything we said is come true with him. He's from winning. He's about winning. Elite defensive player and can really knock down shots. I think Javion McCollum gives us an absolute speed that can shoot. We said we wanted to play faster. His speed level is extremely fast. And then and I already touched on the two newcomers, or the two veterans coming back. But I will say this: there's two other guys that have really impressed me. One is Sam Godwin. Sam has put on 15 pounds. He's right there at 240. He played last year at 225, and he doesn't look like his mobility's better. So he's one. And then we redshirted Luke Norweather last year. He came in, he measured in every bit of 6'11", experienced him playing a couple different positions. He's played a 4 for us in the summer, and he's probably one of our best shooters. So I really like this time of year because everybody's getting a lot of minutes in these workouts, and you're seeing a lot of guys compete.
You mentioned how key it was to retain Lowe's. Just what have you seen out of him this offseason, and in terms of year 2, what are you looking to see out of him?
As a freshman, you come in and you're just trying to make it. You're just trying to you're a lot of times as a freshman, you're worried so much about yourself playing well, and that's normal. And it got to the point, like in December, where I made the decision to start him, and he ran with it. And by the end of the year, and that's what you wanted your point guard, he was worried about other guys, like getting everybody involved. That's what point guards do. What I've seen him from this offseason, one, he's noticeably stronger. He came in as a freshman around 170, 172. He was at 194 the other day. So he's noticeably, he's put on, some strength. But he's more of, the leadership role, taking in and trying to make other guys better, making sure practices are good, making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. So that vocal. I want him to be more aggressive scoring the ball. I've seen his shot. He shot 40% from 3, but not a lot of volume. He's gotten a lot more shots this summer. And the other one I've seen is Ortega is he's playing with more change of pace. he was sometimes with just one pace, right down your throat, which I love, which I love that part of him. But I think he's too, as a freshman, now he's been through it, kind of gets some things, and both those guys have been key in the summer workouts.
How's he shooting the ball? You said you wanted to work with him in the shot a little bit.
He's shooting good. He's my thing with him is you just got to take him. He lives in this gym.
Yeah.
He's just got to take him. You got to take him in these workouts. And it was an old Rick Majerus thing. You got to be a threat. You want to make it. You just got to take it, so the other team knows that you're going to take it. And but he's athletically, just playing this pace, and his strength-wise is just he's physically, really advanced. Ortega is right now.
You mentioned finding the right fit for that assistant role.
Yeah.
I guess what's on your checklist for wanting to identify a candidate there?
There's a lot that's going to go into people that I know, people who knows me. I've had a lot of guys leave. Someone that I really feel is going to stay here for some time. Somebody that I know and trust, that knows me, knows my system, is a factor. That's part of it. Not to say that's the end all, but when you lose somebody and they got to start right up, and our workouts are over for the summer. So it's someone that has been, that knows what we're doing, knows what my system, and I've got some guys targeted, but it's tough to lose in this, especially your associate head coach, who all summer you were doing the workouts with, to lose him at this time of year. But and that just shows you a lot about Emmanuel. He was, I knew when I hired him. I had him at Loyola, very good off, on the court, and I thought his next step was going to be a head coach, but this was an opportunity he felt he couldn't pass up. And but there's some things, getting an assistant coach this late. Our workouts are done, our roster is set. So some of the biggest things important is someone that really, I believe, is going to build this thing with me.
Porter, you mentioned the new normal roster makeover. You said you don't want to change who you are and what you do. Have you had to change how you do it with a new roster every year?
Yeah, the portal is part of this new normal that you guys, like we spent 2 years pouring into Jalen Hill. His skill level went up, his shot went up, every part of it. I let him bring we got his ball handling where he could bring it up, and then you lose him, a week before the portal closes. So those are tough losses. The NIL is a big factor in how you do things now, and I just think retention is got to be a big part of your new normal. Retention, keeping these guys in here, retaining Los and Ortega, having this situation to where they feel like they got the resources and everything to be good, and the NIL is a part of that. And so you want to get before the portal. In my whole career, I don't think I lost anybody that was in the top 9 or 10 players. If they were playing, they weren't leaving. I had some guys leave. That was the normal. You never saw me lose guys that were third. Now, once the transfer portal hit and NIL hit, you're seeing it all over the country. You're seeing guys that are starters playing 35 minutes leaving, and people are scratching, well, why are they leaving? Well, the portal and the NIL. That's why they're leaving. Literally, before that happened, I didn't have anybody that was at Loyola my 10 years. I didn't have any of those guys that were in the rotation leave. So that's part of the things that you got to do differently. You got to really, playing time isn't the only reason why a kid stays anymore. It's NIL, it's different opportunities, and you want to get it to where our situation is so they don't want to leave OU. They don't want to leave OU, and that's what for men's basketball. That's what we have to build up to.
Time for one more question. Porter, in what ways have these first 2 years been a success?
That's a long, open-ended conversation because you know where I want to go. That first year, having to do everything through Zoom, we've had a lot of obstacles, and I just heard Jay Wright talked about this on a video. You can see it all over social media the last couple days about his first 4 years. He was just so focused on being the main thing, and just resilient on your culture, on where you want to go, and that's where I feel that we've lost a lot of assistants. We lost some guys, but we've added. I think every year we've added 2 back-to-back classes of 2 really good freshmen that have been the core. But I think there's a lot of things that you've got to be resilient. That I, as the head coach, have to be focused on about keeping this main thing the main thing. But I know where we want to go. I want to get banners like all of us, And and we've talked about this, and coaches have talked about this. This area of NIL, transfer portal. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through this, and I'm going to be resilient on getting through this. And then there's things we got to do to make this thing a perennial power. You know, there's things that we have to do to make this a success every year. Let's continue to do that part of it. The arena's a piece. This atmosphere is piece in it. Are we going to have a top 20 caliber atmosphere every year? That has to do with facilities, the atmosphere, and all this. There's a lot of things that we're pushing behind the scenes that are little successes along the way. But I know where we want to go with this thing, and there's no one fighting harder and believes in it more than me every single day.
Thanks, Porter.
All right, guys.